in the UK, you can get tins of baked beans with little hot dog sausages inside them, and then you make a toasty of the baked beans and sausages, and it's fucking amazing.
It's a hot dog.
That sounds so good.
And then you put ketchup on top of it.
I want to go back to the UK now so we can hang out and make some toasties. Holy crap.
Welcome to episode 69 of the Cassidin's Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is a show where I interview bands and public figures from the Mathcore adjacent communities. If you beautiful people in chat have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in. I'll try to read them aloud. If you'd like to sub for $5, you get access to some exclusive emotes, as well as access to all the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming services. You can also sub for free by attaching an Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this in your car and have no idea what I'm talking about, the show is first recorded live on Twitch. Join us every Sunday and Wednesday at twitch.tv/thecastin's Creation for the live cast. With that out of the way, let me introduce our guest tonight, who is part of a sick new split, 4 Ways to Die, which dropped through Paper Wings Records back on May 28th. Welcome in, Thotcrime. How's it going?
Hello. Howdy.
Hi!
Tell us who you are, what you do in the band.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'm Kez. I do like some of the songwriting along with Mel. I do a lot of the arrangement along with everyone, and I do all the mixing and mastering.
Cool.
I'm Melody. I do a lot of the writing and stuff along with Kez. I am starting to dabble with using actual guitars, and yeah.
I'm Dot. I do the drums, and sometimes Melody does the drums, and then she sends them to me, and I make them just so much more fucked up and worse, and I take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mara. I am vocals. I also do a little bit of production. I did that on the most recent track that we did with all the other bands on the split. And I'm going to be doing a little bit more of that in the future, hopefully. And, but yeah, I am vocals. So, hello.
Alrighty. So you know your band name is spelled wrong, right?
Huh.
Melody.
With an X instead of an
Yeah.
R.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Thotcrime,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're missing like, what, 3 letters there?
Hey.
Why are we spelling
hey.
like this?
Sometimes you just gotta take a lead from Fallout Boy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Thoughts for the memories.
Yep.
But no, is there like a particular reason why you're spelling it like that, or just?
We've spelt it in like so many different ways since we started.
Yeah.
Like originally there was the O with the line through it, like in Danish, and then we were like, what if we put X's there instead? And then we were like, what if we put zeros? What if we don't have any vowels? And
What if we kept the line, and also Under Oath is cool?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
scroll back far enough on
Under
our
Oath is cool.
Facebook page, you will sing to like make our brand using Leet Speak, which did not last very long.
Oh, God.
Gotta give credit to World's Biggest Bass Pro Shop. They're already killing it there. We don't need to steal that brand.
So, Melody, I find it interesting you were saying that you're starting to dabble with guitar. Actually, my first question was going to be, are there real guitars in Thotcrime? Because nobody's listed as a guitarist in your lineup.
Yeah, originally we were just like purely programming all the guitars. So everything we've released up to this point is all programmed guitars. Originally, I was just like writing stuff out in MIDI for the sake of convenience. And then when I started sending the MIDIs to Kez, and she sent them back, and I was like, holy shit, these sound good already. I don't need to worry about it. And I also kind of saw it as an opportunity to kind of go crazy with the writing. So like you can hear on your computer, there's a lot of like really crazy.
Right, it doesn't have to be playable if you're not actually going to play it, right?
Yeah. Except now, like, we're starting to think about live shows, and I like bought a guitar to play stuff live, so now I'm having to like readapt these parts into something that's humanly possible.
You kind of screwed yourself over.
Yeah.
Me with the drum parts, and I'm just like, maybe we'll just leave it a drum machine and I'll get a synthesizer. That works.
Yeah.
It all seemed like such a good idea at the time.
So it looks like y'all got together in March of last year, which is the perfect time to start a band, like 100%. So is this a quarantine collaboration? Is that how it started?
No. Like, we've actually been together since, like, was it 2018, Mal?
It was 2019, like the summer. It was just you and I.
And, like, me and Melody were in a Discord server together, and she was like, hey, does anyone want to make some, like, really stupid fucking music? And I was like, yes.
I remember I was saying, like, I want to start a cybergrind band, and you were like, I don't know what that is, but I'm down.
Yeah. And
Had
then,
you
like,
listened to Cybergrind before then?
No, and to be honest, I've still not listened to all that much of it. I really should at some point, but I've been kind of busy with the band. It's like you're literally missing the forest for the trees. Like, I am this close to thing. Can I see beyond it? No.
So how'd the rest of y'all get in this?
Well, so it's a really funny story. Melanie and I were talking one time, and I think she made a post on Facebook, was like, hey, we're looking for vocals, right? Or something. Or did you come to me directly? I think.
Yeah, I made a post because, like, we had sort of talked to somebody about doing vocals who was kind of interested, but it ended up not really panning out. So we were just kind of sitting on our laurels for a while, and then around, like, February or so, I was finally just like, we should just try and find someone else to do the vocals. So I, like, kind of put an open thing out, like, hey, would anybody be interested in this? And, like, a couple people responded, and Mara was one of them. And she ended up being the person we liked the best.
All right, what about you, Dot?
I actually live in the same city as Melody, and we had been both just going to shows together, seeing each other's projects, and just mutually been like, we need to do a thing together. We really need to do a thing together. We need to just make some noise and just cause a ruckus. And there were a couple little, like, band practices and jams that went in assorted directions, but eventually it was a little bit, I think, after On Your Computer had come out, actually, I had finally been braving getting into DAWs and just digital production after seeing all my friends do this really cool electronic music, and I'm like, haha, big scary program, guitar has strings, I can do that. So I was just dinking around with making some, like, drum loops and just writing, like, overly complicated techie stuff. Drums were actually, like, the first instrument that I learned to play for real, so that was just me in lieu of having a project to just shred on after playing in, like, emo violence and grindcore bands and just, like, going fast and technical. I'm like, I miss doing that. I need to get this bullshit out somewhere. So it was just recording some, like, just drum loops and, like, MIDI nonsense and sending it to the friends. And it's like, hey, we could use a drummer for Thotcrime. Do you want to do that? I'm like, yeah, I would like to do that. And then here I am now, just making a ruckus wherever I can.
So aside from Melody and Dot, you guys are spread all over the world, right? Kezia, aren't you in the UK?
Yeah, I'm in the Midlands of the UK. It's weird because I've been in a bunch of bands, but they're usually all in the same city, so, like, I can annoy them into doing whatever I want. With Thotcrime, it's like time zones especially make it a little bit tricky because a lot of my, like, morning and afternoon is the rest of the girls is like waking up and having coffee. So I'll be in chat, like, absolutely hyper at what for me is basically lunchtime, and everyone else is like, Kez, shut up, please.
No, we're never like, shut up. I'm always like, please, 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 let me hear that. Let me hear whatever thing you've worked on.
I mean, personally, I love waking up, sipping my coffee, and immediately getting to talking about cyber grinds.
We all kind of help
Best
each
part of
other
waking up is
perpetually
cyber
stay
grinding your
off
cup.
the shits.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100%. Better than coffee.
I've written some of our best charts, like, in the morning when I should be getting ready for work.
So how does the writing process work with you guys spread out so far?
Okay.
what will generally happen is me or Melody, or more frequently Mara, will write an idea, like a riff, or maybe an entire section, or maybe just the guitars for a section, and then we'll send the MIDI into our Discord server that we have. And then everyone else will be like, oh, that fucks. I've got ideas for this. So they'll take it away and they'll like throw 800 layers of nonsense at it and then send the MIDI back. And then someone else will be like, ooh, I can see where this is going. Do something completely unexpected, send it back. And we keep sort of sending around disparate MIDI parts until we're all like, this is a song that is done. And it could be 3.5 minutes or it could be 43 seconds, but if we vibe with
the mathcore number.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if it all sort of sounds good and works as a unit, then we're like, that's done.
Yep.
Let's do something else. And like we've had songs turn around in a day, and we've had songs that take months. But yeah, it's usually just, it starts with someone gets a MIDI idea, and then everyone else just sort of jumps on it like a fucking dog.
So,
Recently, like, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, like recently it's become like more and more, which I think is kind of cool, like just kind of anybody throwing any idea they have into the mix to see what sticks. Like I know Dot's been playing with some like breakcore influence stuff, and Mara's been dipping her toes more into production. Obviously, mostly my wheelhouse is like the MIDI or like the guitar MIDIs and some like basic drum MIDIs as kind of just to get the feel of everything. But we're like more, especially recently, like kind of all playing around with different instruments and different ideas, and I enjoy that a lot.
I recently did something that has like Kez sent like this nasty guitar riff that was like super, like it sounded like super like heavy, like tapping bullshit. And I was like, okay, that would sound really cool if I put like a happy hardcore, or just like a electronic hardcore like kick underneath it. So I downloaded this artist Emma Essex. She has like a whole bunch of like synthesizers up right now, just like for free, all a bunch of VSTs, and I used this one specifically for making hardcore kicks and just fucked around with it for like maybe 5 minutes and got this really nasty, like mean sounding like thing and just threw it under that. And so we're gonna play around with that. Like that's like, I don't know. That's usually, and then when everything's done, I'll just throw vocals over it, or I'll start writing lyrics or something. Like usually all my stuff is like either off the cuff or like I'm writing it as I'm like recording them. So that's kind of just how I've always worked when I've been in like other bands. So that's kind of how I do it most of the time in here. Like,
yeah.
I think actually all of RAR was pretty much off the cuff because I was going quarantine crazy. And I was just sitting in my room and I had no idea, like these songs had just been sitting ready for vocals for so long. I was like, can I actually scream? Do I actually know how to do that? And then I just sat down and it all just came out. And I didn't even like hanging out with the girls tonight was just like something that just rolled off my tongue. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That sounds like Every Time I Die. That's cool.
It was iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't write the lyrics beforehand? You just kind of do whatever and then write the lyrics?
I have been now, but for like most of on your computer, that's like why the lyrics are like barren on like most of that, unless it's like somebody who wrote something with us. I was at the time going through a really bad mental health patch, so it's just like everything was off the cuff. I like in the beginning of quarantine, I just like was consistently coming up with something completely random, or if I just had like an idea written down that was like maybe a line or two, I would just add more and more and more and more to that as like we were doing, as we started getting that done. Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, like, half of the songs are missing lyrics, but this makes sense now. Why
Yeah, absolutely. That, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. Like, there's a bunch of bands that just make noise with their mouth. You know what I mean? So, honestly,
Yeah.
Youth Novel's last album didn't have any lyrics at all because it's just screaming.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's what I think that, and on like another thing we have coming up, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do because it feels like it would be fun just to be like, just like screaming into a microphone and not.
It's good enough for Canada songs.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking love Daughters. Oh my god. Wait, if it's okay, can I share a story that's kind of cool? I posted about it all over social media.
Sure.
This guy was on the. I live in Philly, or I live like around Philly. I'm moving back to Philly. Currently living outside of there. I was on the train into the city, or out of the city rather. Like, and this guy was wearing a Daughters shirt, and I was like, "Yo, Daughters is sick. I love Daughters." And he was like, "Yeah, Daughters is cool." And I was like, "Hey, if you like weird grindcore, you should check out my band." And he goes, "What's your band?" And I go, "Thotcrime." And he goes, "Wow, I've heard of you guys. That's sick." And then he gave me a high five. And then I said, "I'm the vocalist. So if you like Daughters, you'll probably like us."
Dude, that's sick. Oh my
It's a long way
god.
of saying, yeah, thanks.
You love to see it.
Leonardo Decapitator, which is Nick Haas, I believe, says, "Please have a guest vocalist for you trade off scream babbling."
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about On Your Computer was doing all the features we did, and that's definitely something I want to like carry over into the next album we work on.
You
I
did
will
have a lot.
reserve
I
that
want to say like
specific.
5 guests. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Pretty big number.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like the community's kind of like come around you guys. So like you released this back in November 20th last year, which was like the year that Cybergrind was starting to come back, as I would see it, like come back like in the mainstream's not the right word, but to the forefront of like the underground, I would say. And you guys were just like the perfect cap on the end of that, I think. And since then, you also dropped a remix comp with 20 tracks, which is almost double the amount of tracks like on your actual album. And so,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's not even all like the tracks that were submitted to you guys. So it's crazy that the community's like just like accepted you guys with like open arms and just giving you guys so much love. Like, how does that feel having that be like your reception, like the first like release from y'all?
A lot of people in BMC are like our friends. Like I've known Corey for like almost like 2 or 3 years now, and like I like just because of like our friend group or whatever. And like I know Melody and Dot have like hung out with James from Blind Equation, and Ella is like one of the homies. We love them so freaking much. Like she's so cool. So like like it's really just all our friends, and we're just like goofing off and hanging out and making tunes. It's kind of like how I feel about it, you know?
I definitely I'm like definitely
We love
feel
you
like
too.
I definitely feel like we got a lot of support from friends of ours, and they kind of helped create a springboard for us to jump off of. We mentioned Corey and James. Both of them were like super encouraging and positive about our music as we were like starting to put singles out and like sharing like kind of works in progress. And they both like really wanted to hop on a track, and we really wanted them to hop on some tracks, so we got some tracks together. And in terms of like just creating a climate where like an album like ours could be as like receive as good of a reception as it did, like I know James put out that the Born to Die EP early last year, and then Corey put out I Will Destroy You, which was like one of my top albums of the year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that it was really like even before we came onto the scene, it was a big year for cyber grinds.
Definitely.
And then I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2019, but like Codex Orzova, Baja Blasted was like also
Yeah.
Mhm.
so, and
Those Adventure Time samples are like some of my favorite uses
Lemon
of
grab.
anything. Yeah, the lemon grab and also like the lich one too. Like such deep cuts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As far as like God.
so yeah,
What
but
the
like
hell?
even beyond our friends, like the amount of reception that we've gotten to this has been crazy. Like, this is like the first project where I've had like a substantial amount of people I don't know being like, "Hey, I love your bands," and
Yeah.
like,
That's awesome.
yeah, like one of them, like Lita from Sissy, was somebody who would be like commenting on all our Facebook posts all the time, and I didn't really know her, and then I found out she was like a friend of a friend, and we got in touch, and now like she's a really good friend of ours, and we're talking about touring together and like featuring on each other's stuff and all this stuff.
Nice.
And
nice.
I almost forgot to mention Alexis
Yeah.
from in a ton of bands, but I think she's watching the stream right now. But yeah, she did a track with us and like did a logo for us, which is I believe the one that we're using on the stream right now.
She said,
Yeah.
"Yes, I am." Sarah Slam
Yes.
420, bruh. Sick name, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah. The
So, yeah,
fucking
she's
Sakura
been, like,
EP still goes
amazing.
off.
and as well, and like just a really cool person to know, and super supportive. Just
Honestly,
we've met a lot of people like that, and it's great.
her feature on Pog Destroyer intimidated me because I was like, holy fuck, how am I supposed to like do anything on top of that? Like those gutturals. Like,
Oh yeah.
whoa. Jeez. Ah.
Like it's crazy, like bands that I've admired for a while too, like now, but I was always kind of like, I don't know if I'll ever be on their level, and like they're starting to recognize, like, PS You're Dead we did a split with, Mikau has
Yeah.
talked to us and said they like our stuff.
Yeah.
Just today I saw the Callous Cowboys share one of our songs, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think
That's
Peter
Heart
from
fluttered.
Kaonashi wanted to buy a shirt, one of the Thotcrime shirts when we were still selling them, which I'm gonna try and save him one of those just because that dude's a homie. He's so cool.
mhm.
Yeah.
So usually I talk to a band after they release an album or an EP, but this time I'm talking to you guys after you drop just one song off of this sick EP. So the EP is 4 bands. You guys, Karama, P.S. You're Dead, and the Queen Guillotine. It's a pretty odd collection of bands, I would say. I would say you guys kind of stick out, honestly. How did you guys get together, and yeah, how did this all start?
Sorry about that. Yeah, Corey reached out to me, I believe, and he mentioned that these 3 bands wanted to do a split and were looking for somebody else to hop on, and he mentioned our name, and we said we were down. So we all kind of started talking, and like PS I was familiar with before, but I had actually not listened to the Grama or the Queen Guillotine before, and ended up becoming really big fans of both of those bands.
Yeah, Karama's pretty sick. They're from my area, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a
That's awesome.
sick up and coming band.
Sick.
Sarah Slam, I forget her actual name. Y'all just said it, but as Sarah Slam said, y'all are responsible for my current band happening. Thank you so much for being the bridge to working with Lita.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Well, Holly
if
says,
you can- I don't want to take any credit for making Jisei happen, but
She said
we're
fucks.
grateful that collab came together, because that EP y'all just put out is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, the art's so cool too. God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love album art, and like that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, go listen to Bad Representation. It kicks ass.
It really do.
So back to the split. What was it? The name of the label? I forgot the name of the label, and I lost my
Paper Wing.
Paper Wings. Paper Wings Records. I've never heard of them before. Is this the first release under them?
They've done quite a few, I think. I think they did the Queen Guillotine's earlier EP
Okay.
that they released a little bit ago, and some other stuff here and there.
Okay. Is there any apprehension about being on a split with these other bands that aren't like Cybergrind related?
No.
If anything, it's endearing. I think we're all kind of in the boat where we're like, mixed bill shows rule, those bands where they just throw anything at the wall and let it stick rule. I know, like, the Blood Brothers are a big favorite. John Zorn, Naked City. I know Melody and I are both big, fucking hard eyes. So just like the more you can mix in there, just like the more opportunity to hear more stuff and embrace other sounds, and so other people can hear these things. I just always love just bringing together like these separate elements to just make a whole bigger, better whole out of them, what have you.
Yeah.
Just always love variety and just to see people doing stuff.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah, I feel like even that we're all kind of like kind of in the same vague sphere of like kind of like MySpacey, scene-y, dance violence-y type stuff, but we all kind of have our own take like on that whole vibe and that whole sound. So it was really cool hearing all of us together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we do kind of stick out a little bit, but I don't really necessarily see that as a bad thing.
Kez, what were you gonna say earlier?
I was just gonna say, like, Thotcrime, like, is technically a cybergrind band, but to like sort of put a hat on it would be very difficult. Like, we don't really stick to genre. So I think, like,
kind of don't on principle.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Like, we've got like a lot of opportunities to sort of like slip into kind of many different scenes. Like, we've got tracks with really heavy dubstep elements that are like just dubstep. We got stuff that's just like pure rave. We've got one song that we have coming out soon that will completely defy all expectations and understanding of what a heavy band is. We could be like just as easily at home being played alongside like Skrillex or Pendulum as we could being played alongside like Napalm Death or being played alongside Charlie XCX. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Do y'all get electronic music fans like commenting on your stuff? Or engaging?
Yeah. I would say a lot of like electronic music, as far as like in the hyperpop scene, or at least like part of the hyperpop scene, like have been really liking our stuff. Like we recently did a set with like my friend Nusagi, DJ Nusagi, gonna shout her out, and then also what else? We did something with I don't know. Yeah, we have been like getting electronic people who have been into our stuff for sure. Just because like the groundwork is there. I know that I listen to a lot of electronic music now, more so than I did probably at the start of beginning this band. And I know that Kez was already doing a lot of like electronica stuff. And so like as we've kind of been fusing our sounds with like those sounds together, it's definitely bringing that crowd in for sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely sort of a lot of room for crossover between like the whole like hyperpop thing and cyber grinds, and I've been seeing that a little like happening more and more, like that track by that Blind Equation did a feature on. But yeah, I feel like in terms of like both of those genres are kind of like the whole thing of it is just kind of like making pop music or grindcore to its logical like extreme and like exaggerating a lot of the characteristic traits. So
Wait, are we
there's-
extreme pop music?
So it definitely makes sense that there would be kind of a bridge there.
We definitely lost your picture, Melody. I don't know if you need to just
I don't know why that
rejoin.
happens.
So
Yeah.
I would say your newest track is definitely like a departure even from your like, album. It's like much more EDM or chiptune influenced, a lot more melodic. So what's driving your current sound? Like what are some of the influences going to like the current music?
I would say a lot of hyperpop currently. I know that's what me and Melody have been like specifically from a writing stance kind of vibing with. Like specifically, we've been working on something where we were just kind of like, okay, let's make this sound like PC music. And we did we played a preview of that in the last like digi set we did that I put up like a while ago. And so I kind of would say we're not also straying far away from like the heavy grind stuff too, but as far as like where our electronic influences when writing it, I know that like that's something particular that I've been vibing on.
Yeah, and with like all of us bringing our like own stuff to the tables, since I've been working on some more like getting into electronic music was kind of a recent thing for me. Like I liked it, but I wasn't like as deep into it as like Kez or the rest of the band was. But I've always loved like breakcore, just the percussion in there, like Venetian snares has been a longtime favorite. And so I'm finally trying to just make some like over the top, just like bullshit 13, 16, you cannot fucking dance to this, just breakcore stuff. So I'm at the same time, like I'm watching Melody and Mar just do this like really cool, like melodic pop direction. And I'm like, all right, so how much can I bring in just the exact opposite end of the spectrum? How much can I just like take everything pretty and nice you're doing and just fuck it up? So we've all just got like our own stuff that's kind of pushing new stuff in like every direction at once, which is so much fun in the process, I feel like.
I think for me, like, my influences, like, well, inspirations for this are kind of the same that it's always been for everything I've ever done, which is like stuff like The Prodigy and Pendulum and Noisia and Dead Mouse, even if he is a bit of a twat. But I also love bands like Trivium and Meshuggah and the Dillinger Escape Plan. And I've always sort of been aiming to like mix these things in various like quantities. My dissertation in university was about the crossover of drum and bass and metal, because I'm a nerd. And like, I think on your computer, we didn't really sort of know what we were doing, kind of. But sort of after we got that out and we had more time to sort of sit with that initial building block of our sound, we sort of were like, okay, what can we add to this to represent more of ourselves rather than sort of like trying to fit into an idea that maybe we were feeling a little bit constrained by, not because of like the sound itself, just because we've always wanted to have that electronic nonsense. It's just been working out how to mix that with what we've done before, so it's less a sort of departure and more building the rest of the house.
Yeah, absolutely. I know also I've been trying to introduce more cleans into stuff as I am more of a clean vocalist. I was not screaming very much until I started this band, or not started playing in this band, being a vocalist in this band. So like, blah, vomit, word vomit. I'm on camera right now. Anyway.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
Well, I
So
do
I'm
want to
just
say
like,
my favorite
yeah.
track off of your album was I forget the name of it now. Hold on, I got it written down. If I can find my notes again.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, and then they danced with an android because of the dual
Yeah.
clean vocal thing that you were doing. And just like you were saying, it's kind of like a Cybergrind Daughters, because he's got the clean vocal thing going. It's your clean vocal thing.
Yeah,
Shout out Burt
absolutely.
Feathers. We love her
Burt
dearly.
Feathers, we love her so dearly. Yeah. Oh my God, that one was super fun to do it because it's just like the sass vocals is always so fun to do because it's just like shouting, but it's shouting and being dramatic, and that's something that I love doing more than anything else. So always a good time, and also those riffs, so good, so good.
Well,
Melody, it looks
grindy
like
bit.
we might be able to hear you. Can you tell us some of your influence?
Yeah. Well, like for the newest track in particular, at the point I was at, I had written that I was like kind
I'm
of
gonna go
writing
get
a
another
lot of like
Croy.
I was writing a lot of like deathcore and metalcore inspired stuff. So I was like very like breakdown heavy in my guitar writing. And Kez had also been sending some like sort of like ravey, The Prodigy inspired stuff, and I had been playing around with like taking those little like synth bits and like figuring out the notes and like turning them into a guitar part. So that's where that like main riff kind of came from. And then this year I got really into like PC music and Sophie and a bunch of stuff like that. And I had been wanting to incorporate a lot of that into our music, but at the same time, I like don't really have much in the way of like electronic music chops. So I was just kind of like vocalizing that want to Mara and Kez, who like actually kind of do that, and hoping they'd pick up what I was putting down. And thankfully, they definitely did, because the back half of that track was exactly what I was hoping for.
I have never had to do 5 key changes in a single song before. I'm so lucky that I have a choir background, because if I did not, I have no idea how the fuck I could have put any vocals on that song. It changes key after every 4 measures.
Oh yeah, that's the one
insane.
that that's the one that's gonna be coming out here shortly, right?
Yeah, that was high on data.
Yeah.
Or data. How are we saying it?
Out in the near future. It was
And
actually
y'all just announced that, right?
Yep.
Who was it with?
Headgore.
Yeah, I never actually heard of them before.
They're sick. They're the homies.
Yeah,
We love
they're
big shout out, big love.
More. Yeah, I think they're mostly up to this point. They've been more like a kind of like noisecore, noise grind type stuff. But I think they were saying they were kind of trying to do some more like mathcore inspired stuff.
We were gonna do. Oh, sorry. No, you go.
Yeah, they were trying to do some more like mathcore influence stuff going forward, I think.
Yeah, we were gonna do a cover of "I Wrestled a Bear Once." I think it was gonna be Cat's Pajamas, and it's not gonna be on the record, but I still really want to do that. So I'm gonna absolutely hit Irene up about it at some point when I have my own space that I'm living in. Just because I wrestled a bit. Krista Cameron is probably half the reason why the vocals on any Thotcrime song sounds the way that they do. I fucking love that band so goddamn much.
Dude, hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're a huge inspiration for me too, especially that first EP.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of influences for me, when I first started the group with Kez, the like 3 biggest things I was listening to were like Plastic Bag Face Mask and the Cheeseburger Picnic and Blind Equation. And also like some stuff like Discordance Axis and Cloud Rat and just like that whole like technical grindcore type thing. So just like recently I was kind of like, oh no, I'm writing like the stuff I'm writing is like a little too metalcore, and like I like metalcore and that's cool, but I don't want it to just be that. So I just like started listening to like the Inalienable Dreamless of Time and a ton of Daughters and the Sawtooth Grin and like the Blood Brothers and just all kinds of stuff. So I'm
Just let
trying
it
to,
all soak in.
yeah, I'm trying to like, because I think what made On Your Computer work so well is we like married the like metalcore breakdowns and like the mathy stuff with just the total not chaotic nonsense of like the scene grind white belt sasscore thing. So I'm trying to like make sure I'm getting them plenty of both of that.
Right. You can't have too much of that scene grind stuff, man. We need more of that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like our chat is going pretty crazy right now. It's actually kind of hard to keep up with it at some points. Yeah, April Pet says people are showing up for Thotcrime and it warms my heart. Hell yeah, I love the chat. You guys are great. Void Dweller coming in here talking shit about Apple products. That's all good, man. It's all good.
We love you, Trev.
Hell yeah! Sorry, that was
yeah.
too loud.
So Kezia, you do all the mixing and mastering. Is it hard to do this working with so many different sounds?
Yes and no, because I've got another band called CDOS Pun, which is a terrible name, and people ask me when I'm going to change it, and the answer is never, you cowards. But that's like, it started off as a rip-off of the Algorithm, French like gent step, I suppose, band. One of my favorite bands in the world, and I've always loved Pendulum. So everything I've ever done, basically since I learned how Logic works, has been mixing like electronic kicks and snares with like acoustic, because we can't record live drums at the moment, but with acoustic drums, and then having sort of like running guitars through bit crushers to downsample them to 13 bits so that they fit in with like Massive a lot better. But yeah, there's weird like mixing electronic and acoustic quote unquote elements together is something I've been doing for like 5 or 6 years by myself. So when Melody was like, I want to mix stupid, heavy, obnoxious guitar music with stupid, heavy, obnoxious synth music, I was like, aha, this is in my wheelhouse, this is. And I mean, like, there are times where it's like trying to mix like a really delicate kind of like hyper pop pad with guitars so distorted Satan said calm down can be difficult, but it's like my degree was about music production, and like I say, my dissertation was the crossover of bass metal. So I feel like this band is sort of the thing that I've been training for most of my life now. And it's like, you know, you get your EQ settings right and you compress things just so, and everything works out at the end. And
Bye, Thotcrime.
bye, Thotcrime. We'll miss you.
Thotcrime will be back.
Thotcrime will be back after this message. No. But yeah, no, like, yeah, so it can be tricky in some cases, but at the end of the day, like, a really, like, nasty
She's back.
Skrillex wobble bass has the same harmonic content and the same harmonic characteristics as
I love that.
a distorted guitar. So, like, a breakdown is the same as a drop. And
Absolutely.
once you sort of conceptualize it like that, it's like, oh, so if I want to make this fit in with that, I've just got to sort of like, it's more about matching the vibes, really, because instruments are instruments. You know, I've done like, I think on one of our songs I did a string quartet just because I could and no one told me not to. I'd say that was more difficult than mixing in the electronic elements, because a lot of like the electronic stuff that we like is very gritty and very noisy and very gnarly anyway. And like we've got some synth basses that make the guitars sound clean. But yeah, in terms of like making it all fit together, it's pretty easy for me, but it's just, I'm not sure if it's because it's easy anyway, or it's just because I've been doing it for so long that I don't know how to music without 600 instruments.
Since you've been doing it for so long, do you have like a what do you call it? Like a outline sort of how you would attack a song. I guess
Yeah.
pattern's the wrong word, but you know what I'm asking.
Yeah, like so one of the best pieces of mixing advice that I've ever been given is set your kick and your snare to a point, like the main kick and the main snare, to a level, and then don't touch them. So a lot of our songs, like the majority of the drums, for example, are
That's really good advice. Thank you.
yeah.
That's really good advice.
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll
like,
do that in the future. Yeah.
If I have 4 kicks and 6 breakcore snares, then just for personal reference, what do I? Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
As you were saying.
because a lot of our music, like the main drums in it, will be the acoustic drums we're using the Get Good Matt Halpin signature kit. Not sponsored, but if they'd like to. So
I'm open to
I'll-
any sponsorships.
And yeah, I've got a bunch of presets that I've made for various channels. So like, and then I throw all that on it, and then I'll have the kick and the snare at -7 dB on the acoustic kit, and then it's a matter of leveling everything else against that. And if I tell myself that those don't change, it doesn't matter what instruments are going over the top of it. If I can't hear the kick and the snare, everything else is too loud. And then I'll sort of like play the bass guitar, which we use in Ample Sounds P bass. Can't remember the exact name of it. Very, very good plugin. And then I'll play that alongside an electronic bass that we're using, and I'll get them so that like they sound the same volume, which is not the same as them being the same volume, which is a thing that has taken me far too long to learn. But yeah, and then obviously I'll sort of throw that through a spectrometer just to make sure that all the frequencies are hitting where they need to go. And then by the time I get to the vocals, I'm just like, well, the vocals probably need to be at -8 dB. Oh, look, the vocals are at -8 dB, and it sounds good. So yeah, it's work from the ground up, and never, like, your main kick and snare, have them at a level and match everything else to that. Because a lot of artists that I know that will try to sort of like meld genres or even just mix without any sort of prior knowledge, they'll be like, oh, the kick's not loud enough, I'll turn that up. Oh, but now the bass can't be heard, so I'll turn that up. Oh, now the vocals can't, so they turn that up. And at the end, everything's hitting +6 dB in
Right.
the workstation, and it sounds like crap.
It's more that you want to turn down certain things instead of turning them up.
Yeah, yeah, like, if you can't hear your kick, everything else comes down first before you try anything else. And it's sort of another brilliant tip, which I talk for far too much about this crap, but
good.
another really good tip that is so important to learn, and I still haven't got it, is give your ears a rest, especially if you're mixing genres where, like, especially heavy genres like extreme metal and like dubstep and shit. You're going to be using a lot of compression. Your ears are going to be burning. Take a rest from your mixing and like do anything else. Listen to birds, watch the TV. Just take a break when you need it.
So you guys don't play shows, obviously, because y'all are spread apart so far. But I have seen y'all do an Instagram live where y'all were doing something live. I didn't get to see the whole thing. So what's going on with playing live?
Oh, so do we want to talk about the game plan, or do we want to talk about I don't know.
We could do a little both.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, well, when I did that live set, right, I just had my laptop and I had my Focusrite 2i2, the Scarlett thingy. It's an interface, so I can just use that to like monitor sound, like what's going into what monitor, or what's going into like speakers or whatever. Kez helped me set that up. Kez showed me how to do that. She's like our audio person pretty much when it comes to live stuff too. And she basically sent me some tracks that were just like missing some vocals on them, depending on what vocals were actually needed. Because I certainly do love performing, but I cannot also be 5 people screaming all at the same time. So hopefully when live stuff starts happening where we're all in the same room, we can all be screaming together, which would be very cool. But I would actually love more of that. I'd love all of us to just be screaming on a song together or singing or whatever.
I was gonna say, why not do something like this where the rest of the members can join you and then y'all can play the show remotely?
It's really hard to sync up audio live where it's all coming in at the same time. Like, it's not impossible, but I am not an audio engineer genius, so I cannot do that.
It was more of a joke. It was more of a joke. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I thought you were being serious.
No, there's no way you can pull that off.
I can grab my guitar if we. I mean, I don't know the guitar parts. That's melody, but we can give this a shot while we're here, folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. As far as like in the future goes, I think what we've been sort of like kind of mulling over and kind of scheming on is like either like Mar comes out our way or like the two of us to go out her way and we like kind of hash stuff out with her on vocals, me playing an actual guitar, and Dot either doing some version of the drums live or possibly like doing keyboards, synths, and we just have programmed drums.
Depending on how incomprehensible the parts get.
So we could do like our Hearst Collective, but like SAS type thing, which could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I know
you
they're
gonna fly in
like
for
pretty
that?
much
At the moment, like with the state of the world being what it is, and the fact that we are poor, it's unlikely that I'd be able to sort of like fly out to America unless we were doing like something really big. But one of the plans that we've been floating around is like, whilst the girls are sort of like doing shows around America, I can then like go out and do like DJ shows or like just like APC shows around England and Europe and stuff. So we can technically have like 2 tours going on at the same time just to really fuck with people.
What does APC mean?
It's, I don't actually know what it stands for, but it's like essentially like a MIDI controlled drum machine. So you'd have like things set up in your computer and then you press a pad and it makes a sound, and then just sort of like strip the song down to its samples and then recreate it live as though I'm playing a piano, except it sounds like it wants to kill you.
Love that.
Nick says in chat, I've tried playing some of your songs and most are impossible on the drums. Yeah, I don't know if you can actually play them. Snap your wrist.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like me writing 64th note kick drums at 400 beats per minute and dumb stuff like that.
And it's been like an inspiration for me, honestly, since I came from like a background of like playing drums, knowing like, okay, I can put this part together so it'll sound like a real fill. So I've had to just like wrench my brain out of that in order to write, no, we're actually doing stupid bullshit you can never actually play. That's the point. Do that on purpose. But I can't. No, we're doing that.
Right, now you're unchained and you can do whatever the hell you want to. The beauty of this kind of stuff. Strange Noise Record says that they broke their foot by trying to do the kick parts. Thanks, Dot.
Sorry.
We do not recommend attempting to play those parts as written.
Thotcrime says, don't do this at home.
Yeah.
Trained professionals.
I do know one person who can do. Oh, sorry. I saw in the chat that somebody said gravity blast. I know one person who can do a gravity blast in real life. I have not seen it, but I have confirmation from a friend who has seen video of said person who can in fact play a real mean gravity blast, and that is the only person that I know. Sorry.
I know what they are. I understand them in theory, and I can do them about like this loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms, like speaking of like playing songs as written, once it became apparent that I am not like digital music minded enough to put on like a digital or like an electronic set, I decided I was gonna get myself a new guitar and try to learn all these songs that I never actually played on a real guitar before. And it turns out a lot of them are kind of hard. but I've been like it's been a kind of cool to like to like adapt and like be like, okay, this I can probably do if I just workshop it enough, and this I'm just gonna let like the background synth thing handle that, and like trying to condense, because some of these have like multiple guitar parts, like kind of playing counterpoint, so trying to like distill that into one thing that I can conceivably play.
Right.
As someone who has mostly played guitar in punk rock bands her whole life, so like not really no, I've never really been somebody who like attempts really challenging guitar parts before, so but I feel like it's gonna push me to grow as a musician, and
You're getting really good. Whenever I've seen that video you did of the Callous Cowboys riff that you were learning was really sick. You're getting really good.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be like, it'll be good for developing my chops as a guitarist, and also it'll be a lot of fun to be like thrashing around with a guitar while Mara screams bloody murder and Dot wails on some keyboards.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a plan.
Absolutely.
So we got a question we ask everybody here. How do you dress your hot dogs?
Oh, I got this.
Alrighty.
Okay. All right. So I cook my hot dogs specifically. You see, I cook them in a frying pan. I use a little bit of canola oil, and I cook those puppies up. I put them in a potato bun specifically. We're talking about hot dogs, right? We're talking about hot dogs.
Mm.
Okay. I do a little bit of onions, a little bit of chopped onion, and some honey mustard. I'm very serious, or not honey mustard, spicy mustard. Sorry, I am very serious about my hot dogs. Very serious. They're like one of my favorite foods. I just, yeah, that's how I do mine.
Do you cook the onions before you put them on?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? You know, do some like caramelized onions, get that up in there, or like not. I guess it wouldn't be caramelized, but like fried onions or whatever, almost like a Philly cheesesteak, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Holly says that turns out I'm in love with Mara. So there you go.
Oh wow! Wow.
We got a kitty on the show.
know,
My son was screaming outside the door. This is Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins.
Teddy, play a
Handsomest
danger
boy in the
zone.
world.
For me, I'm not like the world's biggest hot dog fan, gotta say. I've heard, I'm from Illinois, so I've heard much legends about the Chicago style hot dog. So
Oh my God,
I've never actually had a Chicago
I still haven't
dog.
tried either.
Wait,
So
you have to
one
take
of these
me.
days, I'm probably going to have to march myself down to Portillo's and try a Chicago dog just to see what I'm missing out on.
I've heard a lot of stories about it too. Actually, from this show, I've heard a lot of stories.
Strange Noise Records is talking some mad smack on the Chicago dog.
When I come visit in September, all three of us have to go get a Chicago dog together.
Okay, we can all.
Y'all want some hot dog takes? I will say, as an Illinois native, Chicago can eat my ass. Ketchup is valid.
No, it's not. But okay. No,
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah. I love a good ketchup dog. That's how I do it when I'm not trying to be fancy, you know?
To me,
I don't-
ketchup's
I
too
don't know if
sweet.
I
I don't
want
like the
that.
sweet stuff.
Yeah, there are other things I like
There-
better. I think I do like a barbecue sauce or mustard or a good like chili dog mostly, but just let people have their ketchup. Take the sticks out of your butt. It's fine. It's fine.
You know, Sonic says chili dogs are so good.
I think if I was gonna dress a hot dog, it would probably be a chili dog.
We are, in fact, the Sonic the Hedgehog band.
Void Dweller says,
Probably-
"Yeah,
probably-
ketchup's ass. I think I would rather eat ass."
You know what they say, eat ass, skate fast.
Hey, Mara, does your t-shirt have any thoughts on chili dogs?
I don't know. Wait, should I show the Deaf Heaven shirt? Oh,
You
God.
show your Deaf Heaven shirt.
When you said it, I'm
Okay,
like, I forgot what
this
Death
is-
Heaven shirt. Then I'm
What
like,
the
oh.
Dude, that's crazy. What the heck?
Like, I can't believe she has that, but also, of course, I can completely
know.
fucking believe she has that.
Is that an official shirt from them, or is that like a rip?
No, it's
Okay,
it's
I was
a, it's
gonna
a
say,
red bubble
Jesus.
rip. I saw it. I think Melody. It was either Melody or our friend Mai posted it in a group chat. I was like, where can I find this? And then I bought one because it's my two favorite things: regular show and Sonic the Hedgehog. I could take or leave Death Heaven if I'm being honest, but I do like some of their stuff. Dreamhouse absolutely fucks. But like this shirt, I had to get it just because.
It's also
You
the
know.
Mario logo.
Yeah. It's the Mario. It's the Super Mario font. This is like the most cursed shirt that I own, probably.
Actually, on the box, it said produced and completely intended by George Clark.
I'm ham-boning.
Amazing.
It's like a dream. I want to dream.
Well, Kezia, how do you adjust your hot dogs?
I am English and I am part German and I am boring. So I literally just have bun, hot dog that's way too big for the bun, and ketchup.
Hi, Lita.
Like, I like my meat and I like my carbs and I like my meat to have ketchup or gravy. And putting gravy on a hot dog is very ill-advised, as I did find out one day. It goes fucking everywhere. So ketchup it is.
Thank you for doing that for us, Kez.
I was
Really
gonna.
important research.
I. Would you be offended if I thought you were gonna put like you know how like people put beans on toast over there? I thought you were gonna say you put the beans on there sometimes.
Okay, so
Like,
in the UK, you can get tins of baked beans with little hot dog sausages inside them, and then you make a
Whoa!
toasty of the baked beans and sausages, and it's fucking amazing.
When it's a hot dog, you
that
can do
sounds
that.
so good.
And then you put ketchup on top of it.
I want to go back to the UK now so we can hang out and make some toasties. Holy crap!
Y'all ever had one of those Chicago beans on toast?
Oh God! You know that guy was mad. That guy was like mad about something. Somebody put like pink paint on the Chicago bean, and that guy who made the bean was like super mad about it. I forget what the whole dispute is, but it's super funny. That guy's like kind of an asshole. The guy who made the bean. I'm pretty sure.
Chat's going crazy about bean dogs now.
Yeah.
That's an important development.
Thotcrime,
Yeah, we don't need
providing the
to go to
discourse.
the UK to
Wait,
hang out.
Melody, you were saying something earlier, and then I accidentally cut you off. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that we all need to go to hang out in the UK with Kez, and then we all need to take a road trip to go bug Kate from Pupil Slicer and hang out with her.
Also
Absolutely.
Also, we need to get Mai from Denmark and come have her hang out with everybody. It would be very sick and
just
cool.
a big Europe party.
Absolutely, a big Europe party.
And then we can go to fucking Skegness and just sit on the beach in like midnight,
Yeah.
just blasting crap out of a fucking boombox.
Absolutely.
Oh.
So you guys are involved in a bunch of different a bunch. Each of you has about like one project. Melody's involved in a pop punk band. This is a stick up. Mara makes pop music under the name Marble Girl, MRBLGRL. Kez has one person project, as you already mentioned, it's CDOS Pun, where you play all kinds of different metal. I was listening to it, and it's a pretty decent range. Dot plays, I guess, emo screamo in Overworry, and Dot and Melody have I just know I'm gonna pronounce this right. Shice or
it's
Cishet on radar.
Cishet on radar. Okay, which is just like crazy noisy grind stuff with like 2-second songs. So how do y'all make
Song
time
title
for all
Dumping
these
Ground.
different projects? Like you got this it's like a big portion of your time, then you have your own like what seemed like pretty well developed other projects going on.
Well, for me, This Is a Stick Up was actually my first like main band. It was like me and 3 of my friends from college who we all liked
Oh no.
we all kind of bonded over being into punk. Like I like back in high school, college. I like
there we go.
The Ramones, like Black Flag. I don't know, all the like typical like stuff you think of when you think of like punk rock. And then like I started jamming with these guys who like our drummer Kevin is really into like that band, the Bronx. He likes Rage Against the Machine. Our bassist is a big like emo screamo guy, and our other guitarist is like big on the classic punk, and he kind of likes doing the wanky guitar solos. So like we put out an EP like like 3 or 4 years ago now called the Dumpster Punk EP. And we had actually been we had written most of a follow-up to that, and then we were gonna go to the studio and record it, and COVID happened.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason that band has been on hiatus for a while. But we're gonna be trying to make a comeback here in the next few months now that all of us are vaccinated. But if there's a silver lining to any of this at all, it's that kind of like having Thotcrime sort of be like the one thing I did that could adapt to this situation is really probably what helped it like become what it is.
I'm like the same because with CDOS, it started out as just like me prattling around, and then I got a drummer, and we played a few shows, and it was really fucking cool. And then like the reception of various aspects of our music at shows kind of informed the writing of the next EP, and then the next one, and then my mate Dave started playing guitar for us, and we had just finished rehearsing the set list for our next show when the UK went into lockdown. And since the UK has been in lockdown, like I've just not felt inspired, because CDOS is very much an act that sort of draws from the live experience, and it's made specifically with the live experience in mind. And as I've not been able to do that, it's kind of been put on the back burner, which, as Melody was saying, like, the good thing about that is I've had time to really focus on Thotcrime and work with everyone else to make it a lot more than it maybe could have been. Or maybe I would have focused on this anyway because it fucking slaps. But yeah, sort of like having that inability to work on other bands is the main reason why I've been able to put so much into Thotcrime. And I think the way things are going, I'm happy to have this be like my main project because it's very, very good. So like my main band, quote unquote, would probably end up becoming like the thing on the side that I work on when I can, rather than the other way around.
Absolutely. I think for me personally, so when the pandemic, right before the pandemic had started, even like before then, I was in this like post-hardcore band for like 2 years called Copley Woods. Or maybe it's like a year. No, we started in 2017. We ended in 2019. Or that's when I left the band, in like 2019. And then right before pandemic, I had started like a 2-piece like mathy screamo band with my friend Dan, who's also in this project Cop Jokes, which is a harsh noise experimental thing. And we had like hyped up using this really goofy, really goofy hype video that we had made, where it was just us practicing in Dan's basement, and we added like a bunch of effects and stuff. We had planned on like recording something, but then Dan was busy with a bunch of other stuff. We played like 1 or 2 shows, and then lockdown happened. So we really didn't have anything super duper solid at the moment. And so I was kind of like struggling with like what to do creatively. And it was around that time. Was that like, I guess it was around that time that I had started working on the vocals for Thotcrime, but I had also been experimenting with like electronic music too. And I mean, Thotcrime is my main, as far as like bands go, it's my main focus just because I love what we do together, and I think that it's very special. I think that everybody here, coming from their own very like unique and different and cool influences, bringing all of those things together is very cool, and I'd like to make it my main project. Absolutely. And I think everybody else here also makes incredible music too. Like I've been bumping like Dumpster Funk EP ever since Melody showed it to me. My favorite track on there is Goth Girlfriend because I like when she sings. And I love CDOS too. I like how we've talked about how Enter Shikari is like something that we both really love together, and I can see that influence in there as well. And I like Overwary and Decimal and whatever Dots showed me at the time. Decimal's probably one of, because of the Dead Milkman influences. Absolutely, they're like one of my favorite bands. Like whenever I watch the. I'm doing the ADD thing where I'm like sidetracking a bunch. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Marble Girl.
Godspeed.
Yeah, I know. Marble Girl though is like my main focus. Otherwise, outside of Thotcrime, I kind of see them as like two kind of separate things that I have enough energy to put time into. Although sometimes I definitely don't, and I get super duper burnout because I work on things like super duper hard and like big chunks. And like I still like I have an EP that's coming out. I'm gonna actually probably take a break after that. It's being all self-produced and self-mixed, and then I'm probably gonna have somebody master it. But like I really moving forward. Absolutely, I want to start. At first I was kind of not confident in my ability to add more to Thotcrime besides just vocals, but as we've kind of been moving this further, it just really feels like it's going to be my main thing for as long as we keep doing it.
Nice. Chat's going pretty crazy about, I'm not going to say it right again, but Shazette on Radar. So, tell us about that stuff, Dot.
Well, that was, so with me and Melody, like, being in the same town and just constantly talking about we need to do something, like, we need to get some project, like, out and together, jam on something. Pandemic made that difficult, and also I kind of just personally hit sort of like a little creative rut recently where I think I kind of got stuck on like, I got these big ideas, I could do some really cool stuff, but I'm like sitting here just kind of thinking about it, not doing anything. And so eventually I'm like, I just need to change the entire like process. What am I trying to do? What is something just like stupid, bullshit, noisy, where it does not have to be good and in fact is not on purpose, just to like crank something out and have fun with it as the most important thing. So I just pulled out my janky like little tape deck and just my shitty little microphone I got with something else, and just kind of put it in a couple places around the room while I just like shredded some like noisecore drum improv tracks. Teen Ass Revolt by Arse Destroyer is one of my favorite like noise grind records, because it's like 6 chunks of like different recording sessions, because I love the genre, but it can kind of get like samey, and if like something doesn't click at first, I'm like, I don't know if I want to listen to the whole thing, or I fall in love and go through the entire thing. So that kind of mixes it up, keeps it fresh. So that was me just like moving the microphone around, just shredding these drums, literally just having fun with it, and like, this doesn't have to sound good, and that's the point, just because I just need to fucking do something. And so then sent those over to Melody to record some just like searing noisecore guitar over. Came back to me, and with just like the babbled improv vocals like we were talking about, that was just like one single take in my bedroom. My roommates are out of the house, and no one can hear me do this until it's part of the album. So this will be one take and done. There are no other options. So just kind of like whatever I can do to just get this like mess out there, done and finished. And like the more I worked on it, the more I started like mixing the noise together. Like I got excited, and each little section had its own way of just like ripping, and just all the distortion just like bleeding together, and the tape saturation. Just got excited on the project the more I did it. And with our group's shared passion for bullshit white belt MySpace SassCore song titles, including the channel in the Thotcrime Discord, which is just a constant dumping ground for, what if we called a song this? What if we called a song this? What if we called a song this? That was me and Melody with a Google Doc, writing all those tracks. I recorded all those tracks, like just separated them out. I'm like, what do we have to work with? All right, that's 82. All right, finally we got something to do with all these. Just quantity over quality, just whatever bullshit we want to throw in there. It does not have to be good. In fact, that's even better. Just like pure chaos for the sake of it to get something done and out there, and it was completely rewarding, and I'm stoked to get another thing done with that project.
That was that. Sorry,
No, you're
no
fine.
melody. No, you
yeah, Dot sent me those drums, and then so I have this really old, kind of junky, like one of those like guitars from the '60s that you would like get out of a Sears catalog. So I grabbed that guitar. I ran it through this pedal I have that's called the Absolute Destruction by Death by Audio, which does exactly what it sounds like it does. And then I ran that into my huge 4x12 Marshall, and I just recorded that, and it sounded about like what you heard on the album, just complete noise mess, the best possible kind.
So chat's over here making fun of me. It's cishet, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cishet.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot easier. Okay. So what was the last album you guys listened to? Last album, song, whatever.
Oh.
I kind of want to be like. I kind of want to be like Maximum Hipster and say Yord by Mor, but I have also listened to Hours by Funeral for a Friend since this morning, and that album just slaps like pure
I got into
Welsh
them
hardcore.
so late in the game, and I love them. I'm like, I should have been listening to this about 15 years ago. They slap.
Me and my sister are going to see them next year playing the Hours album in full, and I'm so
Nice.
fucking ready.
They're still around?
Hell
Holy
yes.
crap. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, they
Who?
broke up for a while, and then their drummer went off to Mode Step, and then Mode Step got kind of crap. So he was like, "Hey guys, want to do a tour?"
Cool.
And that
So-
album is just iconic as fuck.
Sorry, yeah, I listened to a bunch of albums today. I work at Polyvinyl Records, and my job involves a lot of working at a computer in like kind of back end of our stuff. So I get a lot of time to kind of sit and listen to music while I work. So today, I listened to the album on Spotify by Noel,
Ooh, yeah.
and that was really, really good. And then I listened to Bomb the Music Industry's first album because I saw Jeff Rosenstock just posted tour dates, and that got me really, really excited.
Wait, there's a Jeff Rosenstock tour?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to that. I love Jeff.
So yeah, I went and listened to some Bomb the Music Industry, and then I listened to Charlie XCX's Vroom Vroom EP because I love Charlie XCX, and that EP is produced by also love R.I.P. And then the last thing I listened to was Die on Mars by the Calloused Cowboys. So I was all kind of all over the place today, which is pretty normal.
Those are all really good picks. Oh wow. My music choice solely revolves around my mood and how I'm feeling. I'm very like a very in the moment person, so if I'm like in a really good mood, I'll listen to the same album like 30 or 40 times throughout the day. Today I started my first shift training at a coffee shop at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. this morning. I have no idea how I'm still going at this point.
Coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I had like 2 cups, if anything. But like I said earlier, I've really just been I mostly listen to like electronic music and mostly like pop music or weird pop music. And today was just like a Porter Robinson day. Usually I've been listening to his new album that came out like early this year, Nurture. If you haven't heard it, it's so good. It's so pretty. It's so like good time, good feels, like very like comforting, and I've just been like in such a good mood all day, and that's what I've had on repeat. But as I was I was dropping somebody off, we were hanging out today. I was driving home. I put on Worlds, which was his album from like 2014, and the last song I listened to was Sad Machine, which has one of the best choruses I've ever heard. Also, it has a Vocaloid singing most of it, I'm pretty sure, and I love Vocaloid. I recently started listening to Vocaloid music, which I bet is shocking to some people in chat or people who know me, but I love the way that like he just uses vocals, random like instrumentation to create these really beautiful like moving passages that always feel like cinematic in some way or somehow, especially like Nurture. Everybody's been saying it waters down to like the whole point of the album is go outside, touch grass, which yeah, absolutely, like go outside, touch some grass, but also like feel that grass in the moment, you know, like imagine it being like in like a huge sunset and there's like a beautiful like picturesque kind of like sky, you know, when you're touching that like grass or whatever. I don't know, just I've been in like good mood mode all day. If I'm in a bad mood, it's usually I'm listening to Black Dresses, but that's like Forever in Your Heart's been like their most recent release has been like my album of the year so far, probably next to Nurture. I would say those are like my two. If you don't know Black Dresses, definitely check them out too. Love that band. They're super great. Very weird, very chaotic, very cool. And all their other projects are so good. I could go on a whole tangent about them, but I'm not going to because it's Dot's turn now. I'm doing the ADD thing again. Dot, you want to take it away?
Okay. And I guess just mutual shout out for that most recent Black Dresses album. I knew their stuff ripped, but I only like just recently got into them because Nine Inch Nails has been like my longtime favorite since I was like 13, even though I never got into too much other like industrial stuff. I heard some of Black Dresses stuff and dig it, and then checked out the newest one on a whim, and just at each track I'm like, how did they fit that much the downward spiral? It's just there's so much Nine Inch Nails in here. How did they do that? I love it.
Don't forget the Slipknot too. There's like the whole first track of the album just sounds like Slipknot. It's so good.
So literally everything I could want in an album. So that's perfect. Yeah. I think most recent listen, with just trying to like soak in like the influences of the stuff I've been trying to do with I think Sacred Fawn is the name I'm going for, as I've been messing around with my electronic stuff, which actually the first track I put out under there, very crudely mixed, but it was a mashup of a track off that Black Dresses album and Nine Inch Nails' The Great Destroyer. So I've been trying to take that in some more like breakcore direction. Venetian Snares has been a huge favorite since I've been like 13 as well. His like creepier stuff like Doll 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 and Fine Candice were some of my favorites, but the one I've been going back to is his first album, Print F, Shiver in Eternal Darkness, which is also just one of my favorite fucking album titles of all time, and I really want it's just like a little text tattoo. Just like nervous, dense, chaotic breakcore, just weird samples, just everything thrown at the wall as I'm just trying to parse like, how do I do this? This rules.
So just real quick, what's your album of the year, either for last year or up to this point this year?
Oh no, I already answered that. I'll say oh, sorry. No. Is somebody else going? Is somebody else talking? I don't want to talk to anybody else.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Saw somebody mention it in the chat. I already named Nurture and Forever in Your Heart, but oh my god, the new Poppy EP is so good. I need more pretty girls singing butt rock new metal, please, all the time. So good. Like, holy crap.
Redemption arc. I have been saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, that's like those three are probably up there for me. The A.G. Cook remix album is pretty good. That one was pretty awesome. I'm gonna cut myself off there because I can talk about a million more things.
I kind of got stuck on going from like preparing for this question, I suddenly can't remember any albums that exist, and then got to like, oh, well, now I can't choose between any of these. I love all of them. So I know last year, Clipping put out like their sequel album to their Existed and Addiction to Blood, Visions of Bodies Being Burned, which is just killer, like dark hip hop as a horror movie. I just love David Diggs. His lyrics and just imagery have been a huge inspiration for me. And as well, last year there was Ulcerates, Stare Into Death and Be Still, just wild, like dark, twisting, technical death metal in that realm of I don't even know how they write songs like this. It's perfect, and I need more of that. And Lauren Bosfield's album Palimpsest, formerly of Nero's Day at Disneyland, just more like dense, production-heavy breakcore, but it's got this like really beautiful sense of like melody that never stops throughout the entire thing. I don't even know how she like fits all the sounds that she does together. Then I know from this year, The Body and White Suns both put out albums which are just like crushing. White Suns is just like weird, nervous noise rock, and then The Body is just doom, drone, just blown out to maximum levels of distortion. And most recently, yeah, that newest one just completely destroyed me. And Chicago boys Paper Mice put out their newest album in years recently, and that has been blowing me away. 1-800 Mondays. Like angular, post-punk, math rock, super technical but weirdly danceable and not at all in the exact same time, with like really smart like wordplay filled lyrics about like weird news and current events. Yeah, just been like a lot of cool shit going back on. I kind of feel like after a while of music is cool, I'm just kind of tired. Now I'm just like, oh, there's so much cool shit going on.
Right. What about you, Melody?
I in 2020 I listened to a lot of albums, and it was really hard to pin down because I listen to so many different things of different genres too that like it's almost hard to like pit certain things against each other when they're like so good in such different ways. But like Burnt Feathers put out a noise tape called I Keep My Visions to Myself that is just an incredibly intense, amazing listen. She puts so much emotion into that record, and it's definitely the kind of thing where like a lot of people who don't listen to noise probably like wouldn't be able to. Oh, a lot of people who don't listen to noise would probably just be like, oh, it all kinds of it sounds like noise. But this is something where it's really like this is something that stands as like, in my opinion, like one of the best noise releases I've ever heard.
Really?
Also,
I never hear people saying that like noise is like one of the best things they've ever heard. Sounds like something I need to check out.
Yeah.
That was moving the room
noise
too. Not to talk over your turn, but yeah, Claire just killing it constantly.
Yeah, Burnt Feathers also did another thing also in 2020 that Dot actually did the art for, and that tape is also really fantastic, and the art is really fantastic. But I mentioned like that Blind Equation EP from 2020. Corey's I Will Destroy You by Zombie Shark. One of my favorite things I've heard in a long time. Codex Cordova Baja Blasted was amazing. I really listened to a ton of that newest Disquilla Grind record. And then this DB like hardcore band from Georgia called Diva put out a demo tape, and it's just such a ripper. And that's probably missing like a lot of stuff that I liked from last year, but that's just kind of like stuff that I remember off the top of my head.
Right, like so much stuff came out last year. Is insane.
Yeah. This year I liked. I love that Pupil Slicer record. That's definitely
gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That Sophie single from Unisil. I think that came out just like a couple of weeks before she passed away. So you know that kind of stands as kind of like. Unfortunately, it's like her swan song, but it's a really good track in its own right. What else did I like this year? Oh yeah, Ska Dream, Jeff Rosenstock. I don't think anyone else could have made what I don't even want to call it a joke album, because it's like it's done so sincerely and with so much genuine love for the genre that it's not that it's not that, oh, it's like a joke but you can take it seriously. It's like you can't even take it as a joke. It's like just genuinely good, and like
he is ska dad. That's like his whole thing, is that he's the dad of ska.
Y'all are making me have to check this guy out, talking about him so much. Like, I guess he's great.
Oh, Jeff is great.
He's so good. He's been around for years.
I'm totally not just saying that as an employee of Polyvinyl Records.
And
Thotcrime industry plans.
Oh my god. The music industry is sick. You should listen to them. They're absolutely fucking bonkers. Talk about
But
yeah.
Yeah, I've already heard a ton of stuff this year that I really liked. And I'm not going to be able to remember enough of it right now, but I'm going to preemptively say that Life is Pain by Blind Equation is going to be on my favorite albums of the year, because it's LP by Blind Equation, so it's going to be amazing. But I'm going to stop rambling and let Kez have her again.
So what about you, Kez? Album of the year, this year or last year?
I cannot remember if it came out this year or last year, but I want to mention it because not enough people know about it, and it fucking slaps. Lifeblood by Brand of Sacrifice. They're like, I have this pet peeve where I fucking hate when people are like, oh yes, we're industrial metalcore, because that usually means that they are not. Brand of Sacrifice are industrial deathcore, and they terrify me. And I love them.
Yes.
And their album would have been my album of the year, except Pendulum are putting out a new EP by my clock, because it's 2:30 in the morning, today. And everything Pendulum does is an immediate invitation for them to steal my money. So I'm going to say that Elemental by Pendulum is probably my album of the year this year.
Epic. I did want to say one last one. Shout out to New Sylveon for releasing constant bangers every single year. Russian hyperpop artist, very cool, very sick. Please work with Thotcrime. Please, please, please work with Thotcrime. We love you so much. Please, please, please. Yeah.
So that new Marble Girl single, 8 a.m. Wake Up Call, that was a banger.
Yeah.
Woo!
I also just remembered, I saw Alexis in the chat, and I remembered, I already shouted them out once, but Bad Representation by G-Say, epic, excellence EP.
Absolutely.
Turning back to you guys, y'all have a Teespring site for merch, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is it, just like teespring.com/Thotcrime or something?
It's,
Everyone to Google.
It's
because I didn't even know you guys had merch because there wasn't anything up on Bandcamp. So
yeah, it's like Thotcrime merch store.creatorspring.com or something like that. It's in our link tree is up on all our socials. If you go there, you'll see all our links, and the link tree is there, or the Teespring link is there. We are in the future probably going to be doing more like actual print runs of shirts, like the one we did last year that Corey designs. I've been wanting to do another run of that. There's been a lot of people asking about it, so I want to do more. And we've been talking. We haven't actually like put into works yet, but we've been talking about doing some more like Evangelion-inspired merch designs. So you might see some more of that. And then obviously once we're like gearing up to, once we've got our next LP to the point where it's announced and we're releasing it, there's gonna be new merch for that as well. And like I said, we'll keep the Teespring up. We'll probably keep the Teespring up for a while. And even once we're mostly doing actual like print runs, we'll probably still keep a couple of designs up there. But yeah, we're gonna. There'll probably be some cool stuff with merch down the pike, and
What about
We're gonna-
physicals for like the album and such? By the way, I don't think that link is working. I was trying to get it to open up, and seems like they're having some issues. But
the one,
are you
the one
guys?
Kez posted is good. The one Lita
Yeah.
posted, I think, was a joke.
The one I posted is the legit one. Leader was just memeing.
Okay.
Love
Oh,
you,
there we
Lita.
go. Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So yeah, what about like physicals for like the album and stuff though? Like, did y'all ever print CDs or cassettes or anything?
for On Your Computer, we did through the label Laura's Girls. We did we did sort of a limited cassette and CD run. It honestly sold out a lot quicker than we expected it to. There's no like concrete date for it yet, but we're expecting that there will be another run of those at some point.
Okay.
There's, as far as I know, there are still tapes and CDs available for 4 Ways to Die from Paper Wings. And LP2 is still going to be, it's still pretty far out, I would say, but we're kind of hopeful that we'll be able to do like the whole shebang, like tape, CD, LP, all of that for the next one. So fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, it looks like we got CDs and tapes are showing off.
Yeah. Mara's got all the cool merch.
Art by our lovely Mara.
Yeah.
Killing it.
And we might.
Mara, I think
be-
you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh no.
Alrighty. You must have hit a cable somewhere or something when you were moving around. But yeah, look at the awesome CD that you're holding up there. Okay, 1 second. All right.
You got this. We believe in you.
So, I guess we'll give her a second to try to get back and show off the tape. So it looks pretty sick.
Mm-hmm. Wait, oh no, my copy's at work.
Why is your copy at work? Oh, your CD.
I took my little cassette. I have like a little like Walkman cassette player thing.
Hi.
Old
Can you
school.
hear me now? Hi.
Hey.
Yeah,
I just
have,
wanted
like,
to say I'm really proud of how these turned out because
Mhm.
I did most of the designs for them. Specifically the CD print and then the art for this as well and the art on the back of the CD too. And for like the tapes, like these turned out really good. Like the inner like whatchamacallit for it, like
J card, I
sleeve.
believe.
Yeah, the J card. Oh my god, I run a tape label. Like why wouldn't I know that?
Oh,
Just
do you? What's
how
the
that
label?
all looks. Huh?
Do you? What's your label?
Me and Melody run one with our friend Vera. It's called Alien Heart Records.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've done a couple small releases. We've done some compilation records here and there. We're currently just did another compilation record. We've got some stuff lined up. We were kind of backed up with some stuff, but we're moving along, and we're going to be doing some another release soon. But yeah.
What's it called again?
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, babe. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got really excited about the art. I love
As you
plugging
deserve
my
to be.
designs.
Yeah. But yeah, the label's called Alien Heart Records.
Alien
Mhm.
Heart Records. Okay.
Yeah, I'm chatting as our Twitch profile in here. Yeah. So
Alrighty. That's about all I had to talk about though, unless y'all had something else I wanted to bring up.
Shout out Big Money Cyber Grinds.
Big
yeah,
Money Cyber
the
absolutely.
biggest.
Shout out Big Money Cyber N. Fuck mental illness.
Okay.
We ride or die, and we are we. I don't know. I was trying to be funny, but
Chili
yeah,
dogs.
chili dogs. Yeah. Love your friends. Give them hugs, and tell them that you're for your friends.
I think the coffee's
Cybergrind
starting to wear
forever.
off.
Absolutely, Cybergrind forever. Thotcrime forever. 20x. Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, if you're looking for the next generation of extreme music, check out Thotcrime's track on 4 Ways to Die, which came out on Paper Wings Records back on May 28th, and check out their awesome debut on your computer, which came out in November of last year. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, and Twitter. You're also on all the streaming platforms. Am I missing any other social plugs? I guess there's Alien Heart Records to check out, and y'all have your various other bands. They'll all be linked in the description of this. But anything for Thotcrime I'm missing?
That should-
Oh, the Teespring. Need the Teespring as well. That'll also be in the description of this.
Yep.
As for me, drop my channel, follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and streaming services, as well as some exclusive emotes. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you like the video, please drop a like, click on the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatendcreation.com. Mathcore Index just premiered a sick video for my first single from my upcoming split with Focusrite. Curtain dropped, new stage unlocked. Go to youtube.com/Mathcore Index to check that out. My next guest is Russian-based chaotic hardcore band Vorvon. Join us this Sunday the 20th at 12 p.m. Central for the live cast. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you for having us. This was great.
Yeah, thanks.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for that new split, by the way.
Definitely. And thank you guys for watching and listening.